So the most important and underrated skill, in my opinion, that you can implement to your game that'll apply to all maps, all sides, is counting utility. When it comes to team play, usually the players are gonna be the ones counting the utility that they see thrown personally, and the IGL is gonna be the one tallying it all up. But if you're pugging or if you're not playing on a site with your IGL, you still need to know how to change your positioning and change your setup based off the utility that the T's have left to throw. So right off the bat, before you start counting utility, you need to know how much utility the T's can have total. If you don't know how much they can have and you don't know how to predict economy, this is pretty much useless because you're going to see it time and time again where someone's like, bro, they're eco this round, and they come running up with like triple ops. I'll make a whole video in the future on how to predict economy and the buys and all that stuff, but basically summed up, the most common buys you'll see, or pretty much every buy you'll see, is a full eco, an eco, a half buy, a force buy, a rifle low buy, and a full buy. And the reason you need to know this is to be able to predict the amount of utility that you expect that round. So if it's just an eco round, they're full saving, and you see one flash, you don't have to wait till you see 5 smokes to call it they're out of utility. They're probably out of utility. They're Glocks. So now you're predicting their buys, you're counting their utility, you're doing all that good shit. Why do you need to do this? Well, you need to do this because T's change up how they take map control or finish a site based off the utility that they have left. It limits their options. So if they're fully out of utility, they're going to contact areas more often. If they're out of smokes, they can't cut off crossfires effectively. They can't eliminate angles. They can't have proper full executes. If they're out of mollies, their executes aren't going to be able to flush out hard to reach positions. So based off this knowledge, adjust your positionings and setups according to the T utility that they have available. And now that you're able to predict how the T's are going to finish a site because you counted their utility, you need setups to counter each way that they can finish. And your setups are taking into account how many people are playing the site, utility available, and guns, etc. The 3 most common ways you're going to see T's finish a site is first off with a contact, which is just walking in completely silent, no utility being thrown. The second is a pop, which is they just explode off of a singular flash and run in. Utility is usually thrown on the fly for these. Finally is a full execute, which is where they throw utility and then they enter, supported by flashes and mollies and all that good shit. I know what some of you in the comments down below are already about to say.
There's other ways of taking the site though.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we're keeping it simple. That's why I'm keeping it just these 3: contact, pop, and exec. All right, back to the video. All right, so first up, we got a contact. And when it comes to countering these types of takes, you got to think about like the strengths and weaknesses of each. So the strength of a contact would just be the element of surprise. The weakness of this would be no utility. There are 0 smokes to cut off crossfires and no mollies to flush out hard to reach positions. And there are also no flashes to push off oppers off of angles. This is why ops are basically the hardest counter to a contact. That's just basic Counter-Strike right there. You never want to contact a site that an ops on. Like, you're going to lose that 10 times out of 10. So when it comes to setting up against one, if you're solo, play like an off angle or op, or play a position that's not easily be picked from. It forces them to commit in order to peek you. So a great example of this on B site would be pillar. If there's 2 of you on site, then double up or have a crossfire. You could also use utility against these. Like I said, your utility matters. Utility usually isn't the best bet though, because they're contacting, they'll have the jump on you and probably run past your counter smoke or your counter molly. And because they're contacting, their body is the first thing that's going to be shown, not the utility. That's why an off angle is perfect for this. That's why ops are perfect for this. And that's why crossfires are perfect for this as well, because they don't throw their utility before they enter. Their body is seen first, not the utility. All right, next up we have pops. And these are pretty similar to contacts in the sense that utility is thrown on the fly or it's not thrown at all. One of the big major difference you're gonna see between setting up for anti-contact versus setting up for a pop is that someone's gonna be playing anti-flash or a position where they're not able to get blind from a pop flash. Here's a great example of this being shown here is someone playing coffin, one person on top of second orange. This is a common setup that involves someone playing anti-flash. As previously stated, you can also play a position that can't get blind from. Boost to new box is a great example of this. When you're up here, the pop flash that is usually thrown for B site does not affect this player here. This is also a great off angle you can hold against a contact because no one usually preempts this spot. Last but not least, we have an execute. Now the strength of an execute is basically cutting off all the crossfires, all the angles that you don't want to deal with, flushing out all the positions that you don't want to deal with your mollies, having like 8 flashes, setting up your entries. It's all good, right? But the downside of this is the time it takes to enter after throwing all the utility. You basically give the CTs the heads up that you're hitting the site, and they have around like 1 to 3 seconds to counter your exec with utility. So the best way to counter an exec is to have utility your own, either smoke them off and cut off their entire take, or use your smokes defensively like shown in previous videos. Just know that utility is your best bet when it comes to defending against an execute. Now, if you're completely out of utility, there's 2 things that can happen. 1, you're the only one that's out of utility and your teammates have utility. In this case, you should play for a retake and just fall off. Or 2, your whole team is completely out of utility, and here you just have to like frag out and hope for the best.
Why I kill everyone, you fucking retard?
And obviously there's other ways to set up against this stuff. You can have like counter flash setups and all that crazy shit, but we'll keep it simple for now. But yeah, if you want to add anything onto what I said in the video, or if you have any exceptions, leave in the comments down below. There's always exceptions to everything I say. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content similar to this, and have a good one. Peace out. I love you.